Good morning. Allow me to speak on this mysterious word which science has no clue about, which spiritualism refers to as consciousness. It is widely interpreted with multiple meanings. It has different parts like child consciousness, body consciousness, ego consciousness, witnessing consciousness. There's so many different types of consciousness. And then they say there is eternal consciousness. Now, what is consciousness? Is it related to God in any manner? Is it eternal? Is it the most supreme, the most profound, the most paramount? In a way, yes. Why? Because without consciousness, the mind would not be awake and alive. Consciousness, whether in the form of being conscious, subconscious, unconscious, superconscious, is what makes you know of the divine, of the divinity, of the universe, of the stars, of the subatomic particles. You have to be conscious to know all these things. And all these things exist only and only because of your consciousness. So consciousness undoubtedly is supreme. There's no doubt about it. It is the supreme. It is the most profound because there's nothing besides consciousness. Body and mind has to be conscious. You see? But consciousness, when you are in deep sleep, not in dream sleep, deep sleep, it is not awake. It is not alive. It is silent. Because while asleep, you're not conscious. But the moment you wake up, what happens? What happens? You become aware. You become aware. And after that, you become conscious. So awareness is primordial to consciousness. Awareness is absolute. Awareness is intelligence. Awareness is instinct. Awareness is intuition. Awareness is eureka. Awareness is every invention. Awareness is when you say, bingo, I've got it. When your conscious did not work, when your mind did not work, mind meaning the cognitive mind did not work, and it came as a flash of energy, and you spontaneously acted on it. Otherwise, what happens? You react. Mind reacts. It does not proacts. It proacts only through its absoluteness, in purity, in totality, with full awareness. But the moment this awareness extends into the mind, makes the mind aware, it separates into thoughts of duality. And consciousness is a construct of the mind. It is not that God within. It is not eternal. It's a flow of intense thought, focused and attentive after becoming aware. It is your individuality in total. It is your uniqueness. I don't know, 7.5 billion people in this world. I hope I'm correct in this figure. 7.5 billion in this world. Each one unique. Because each one has a separate consciousness. And this consciousness expands, evolves, transforms from its child, youth, ego, material consciousness, ego consciousness, to all sorts of consciousness, either towards the devil or towards the divine. It is your inner intelligence, not your intellect. Your intellect is dependent on your memory, your past awareness to come out with something. It's borrowed knowledge which you have gathered, but intelligence comes out from your awareness. It's uniquely yours, uniquely your awareness. And consciousness is a combination, a summation, a segregation of these two. When they get integrated, intellect and intelligence, what you have is your consciousness. Now, what is this consciousness, NESS? It's a suffix. It's the intensity. When you say redness, it reveals the intensity of the color red, say in a rose flower, on its redness. Similarly, awareness. It is the suffix, the intensity, the presence of individual degree of aware energy in a human mind is referred in one word as awareness. Similarly, consciousness. Consciousness is the totality of your mental experiences which you have gone through as a child, boy, youth, ego, material, etc., etc. Various forms of consciousness, various forms of conscious experiences under different levels of consciousness. Superconsciousness, unconsciousness, subconsciousness, and just conscious. So, all these experiences is what we call as life. Life is nothing but a series of experiences from your individual level of consciousness, and that is what it is, and that is most supreme, because out of that emerges everything. So, in this world, or in this, to further go, in this universe, all it has dark energy, which represents nothing. It's unmanifested. But when it vibrates in different frequencies, matter and consciousness are formed. Matter and consciousness, matter is in form, consciousness is metaphysical and abstract. Metaphysical because science still has not been able to decipher in proper terms what is consciousness, because it differs in every single human being or every living creature. It has different levels of consciousness. Even animals have consciousness. The only difference is they are aware and conscious of the outside, but they are not aware and conscious of the inside. Whereas human being is one species which is conscious not only of the outside, it is conscious also of its inside as to what's happening in its own mind, in its own thought. It can read its own thought. It may not be able to control it. It may not be able to separate it. But yes, it can definitely see its own mind, read its own thoughts, and come to know on its level of truth what you are. Honest or dishonest, divine or devil, ugly, good or bad, things like that. So that is what consciousness is. It's in totality your mind in its individuality. That is consciousness, and it's supreme. Thank you.